All right guys, welcome back to another video. This is our third installment of the evaluation and comparison between PDK versus manual transmission for the 991.1 Porsche 911 GTS. My buddy has a manual transmission version. I have the PDK version, and he and I, both owners, are comparing the two cars and our experiences. Everything about the cars is essentially the same. The only difference is manual versus PDK. In this video, I hope to answer the question, if I had to do it all over again, and now experiencing Milton's manual transmission, would I have made that same choice of buying a PDK? I don't know. Let's see if we can answer that question in today's video. I'm gonna drive his manual GTS 7-speed. He's also got the numeric short shift kit installed on it, so it's a little bit more of an aggressive setup for manual shifting. So anyway, without further ado, here I am driving Milton's manual GTS.
How do you feel?
Oh, it feels good. It feels good. Obviously, I'm trying to respect that this is not my car, and this is, you know, not a road I'm familiar with.
As much as you're familiar with your car and PDK, you'd have to re-familiarize.
Exactly.
Yourself. You'd have to take a notch down and build your way back up.
Yes.
It's a totally different thing. You know, that PDK is doing things for you with this car. Whatever you tell it to do, it's gonna do. It's gonna do.
It's gonna do.
Period.
Right. But like through that stretch right there, avoiding potholes, it feels good. And third, to me, I don't see the need. Now, would you be in second or?
No, I told you the last time I spent a lot of time in 3.
Mm-hmm.
And you may think it's high in the RPMs, but you haven't even reached 5,000 RPMs.
Not at all. Is that too much? Let me break it down for a second.
I'm gonna put you in Sport Plus now.
Got it. I love that. That's a nice feature when you have in the Sport Plus. Yes. Yeah. This blipping does it for you, so you look like a hero.
So you're in Sport Plus. You feel any difference?
Well, the body control. It's more about body control because obviously there's no difference with the transmission, of course, other than the blips. The blips are nice. Actually, I take that back. The downshift blips
and it's more power.
Yes. The throttle response is more more sensitive, the throttle, but that's just like in the PDK car.
Right, that's right. PDK versus this?
Well, it's...
For you?
For me, here's what I would say. The manual is definitely more engaging, and you're more in tune with, it's like a physical activity. You're more in tune with what's going on around you. And you know, it gives you a little bit more.
That was Mr. Escort.
Exactly.
PDK versus manual for you.
For me.
Feeling on this road.
On this road, I do appreciate the additional engagement that the manual provides you. I do like that. Is it fun? Oh yes. The PDK is fun in just a different way for me. You know, I still enjoy the PDK. When I was driving this road following behind you, I felt totally engaged because the whole overall car is so great. So I still love the PDK. But I have to say, as a driver, as an enthusiast, I do think that the manual gives you just more joy and enjoyment because you're physically involved with what the car is doing. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, PDK is deciding you need to be in second or third gear versus you're deciding you need to be in second or third gear.
Exactly.
Or fourth gear. whatever you want.
But I will say that I did enjoy switching between allowing the PDK to make the decisions and for me to make the decisions. And you know what you experienced was when when you on purpose you were letting the PDK make decisions so you could see what it would do, and it was holding the gear too high on a straight where we really didn't need all those engine revs. When I was driving, of course, I wasn't testing that, so I would just downshift with the paddles, you know, and I would just control what I wanted the car to do. In a manual, it's the dance. It's dancing with your pedal, your throttle, and your hand movement on the gear lever, along with turning, provides that additional engagement that you don't really have with the PDK. And that's part of the reason why, after 4 years of ownership of my GTS, I'm thinking, you know, I'm looking around. I just drove a manual Mustang GT 350. I'm in this car. It always makes me think when I drive a manual with a great chassis, I miss this. It's been 4 years in the PDK and I miss it. But then, as I said to you earlier, before I got in this car, we were having some fun on the turns. I love my PDK car, you know? And I think part of my issue is I'm just a car guy. You know, I think that's part of it. I can find joy in this car and I can find joy in my own PDK car. So yeah, I hate to sound wishy-washy, but I miss the manual, so I enjoy being back in one whenever I get the chance. But I do love my PDK. It's an awesome system, and I have a lot of fun in that too.
So I would imagine that you would love your PDK. You've been in it, like you said, for 4 years. You're not gonna, you know, and it's been good to you. You're not gonna bail on it. You know, for a couple of rides. Of course, you've driven a manual transmission for more miles than you've driven a PDK.
That's for sure.
And so is some of it a novelty? Is some of it taking you back?
Well, that's a good question. Let me just say, why did I buy a PDK 4 years ago? And part of it was I had driven a manual transmission all of my driving life since I was 15, 16 years old. So why now, 4 years ago, did I pick a PDK? Well, I test drove a Carrera S PDK and was really impressed with, you know, how it performed. I was like, this is great. The shifts are so quick and so fast, and that technology just enamored me. I was just enamored with that. I knew, living here in New York, I wanted to do, in order for me to really have fun in a car, I wanted to explore things like autocross. I wanted to explore things like track days. So I thought, hey, why not buy the fastest thing that I could afford at that time? So that's why when my GTS PDK became available, I jumped right on it and drove away from the dealership with a smile on my face. But now that 4 years in, that there's something really enjoyable about a manual that I kind of miss. You know, now that the GT3 manual is a manual transmission is available, it's got me thinking about that. You know, is there?
Well, it's interesting that why would Porsche make a manual available when they didn't before?
Exactly.
And, so it's, you know, someone's calling for it. People are calling for it. You know, I have a couple of paddle shifter vehicles, and I'll say that if you're driving a PDK or an automatic, a high-performance automatic transmission car, and there's two experiences. There's not using paddle shifters, and there's using the paddle shifters.
Right.
And the paddle shifters can be close, but not a manual transmission.
Right, exactly.
I mean, they can do things, and you can have some fun, and you can do this, and you can do that.
Right.
But it's not a manual transmission. But it's more engaging. You can get more engaged than you can just utilizing the automatic transmission.
Yes, you can.
Even in Sport Plus.
Yes.
You can get manual-esque.
Yes.
All right, but not necessarily manual.
Right, right.
Now, let me ask you a question. You had to do it all over again, and there were two cars in a dealership, a manual and a PDK.
I would do a manual.
You would do a manual?
Yes. If I had the choice all over again, bearing in mind how long I keep my cars, I don't trade my cars in very often. That was nice right considering how long I keep my cars, I would do a manual if I had to choose all over again. Mm-hmm. And that's not to dump on the PDK.
No, it's not a dump. It's just a decision. Both cars are great.
Yeah. And you know what? I love my PDK. When I get back into it, when I drive home tonight, I'm going to have a smile on my face. You know, it's not like I'm disappointed.
No one's saying you are.
But and maybe
I know. You love your PDK.
I know.
That's not the point of this.
Right. That's true.
No one's questioning that. We're not defending PDK. We're just comparing it.
Exactly. I can't help it because I think people online kind of dump on PDK.
Everybody has their opinion.
Exactly, and that's all right.
Some of the opinions are informed, and others are not.
Correct.
He can drive. He's the only man I trust with my car. I told you what I thought. You said the same thing. I mean, again, if I had to do it all over again, I'd walk out with a manual. All the respect in the world for the PDK.
Yeah.
But for this car and what this car, how this car is used in my life.
Yeah.
As a weekend weapon.
Yeah.
I'll take the manual.
Yep. And for me, I like both. I'll take one of each. That would be my preferred, but no, obviously that's not realistic. And
I kind of have that because I've got the 63.
That's true.
So it even more promotes me having a manual.
Oh, good point.
In this car.
Good point. Because
if we added another factor, if you had to have only one car, and that was a 911,
right?
What would it be? A PDK,
right?
Or a manual shift,
right? And
then again, it would depend on how you're using the car. Is it a 5-day-a-week car, 7-day-a-week car, or is it a 3 times a month car?
Correct. I use my 911 a little bit more frequently.
Definitely more than me.
And there are times when I just enjoy having the PDK. Since I'm using the 911 so much more, especially on the weekends, running errands, and having the PDK is great. I don't have a fleet like Mr. Milton does. I just got the one to have fun with. So my 911 has to check a lot of different boxes. Boom. Well, Milton, let me just say this. Thank you for allowing me to drive your car. Thank you for spending all of this time, and your insight was great on the two vehicles. So I appreciate your time that you allowed for this video. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. It was my pleasure.
And it's always great to get these two cars out at the same time. So
we've actually been talking about this for over a year.
Exactly. I mean, one of the things I just enjoy doing is just getting out on a beautiful country road that you just introduced me to, a road like that, and just having fun in the cars. It's a real escape. And I think no matter PDK or manual, both of these 911s provide that escape. They're such a joy.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
All right guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments down below. What do you think? Should I have gone with the manual transmission GTS, or did I make the right choice in getting a PDK version? Let me know your thoughts below and tell me why. What kind of driver are you? Are you tracking your car a lot? Are you using your car for daily commutes as well as spirited driving? Because that may make a difference on your choice of transmission. Anyway, if you like this video, please hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps out the channel. And I'll see you in the next video, y'all. Have a good one.